Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. Skye Nicolson has for a long time now been saying, I want to fight Amanda Serrano. It kind of got to the point more recently where she thought, well, she's probably not going to fight me. There's always going to be an excuse. She picked up the WBC title, Skye did, because it was vacant. Amanda gave it up. And Skye says, Amanda's tying up the belts at featherweight. I want them all. I want to be undisputed. She calls herself future undisputed. But as we know, Amanda recently fought Katie Taylor in a rematch at 140. It was not a robbery, as people have said. I made Amanda Serrano the winner. I made her the winner 95-94. That's not a robbery. That's a close fight. But I do think that Serrano won the fight. Don't get me wrong. But robbery, no, as usual, that stupid word gets thrown around and by people who really don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, the point is that Serrano, as great as she is, and she is a great, great fighter with a magnificent record, she should give up the belts if she don't want to defend them. I mean, Skye's got a point here. Or she should fight Skye, because Skye picked up the WBC belt when Amanda gave it up. But, of course, it's not quite the same winning a vacant belt. You're more of a world titleist than a world champion. But there's no denying that Skye is very good at what she does. I find her very dull to watch. I think her style is very boring. She doesn't have a lot of power. She's currently 12 wins with 1 stoppage, no draws, no defeats. But she's very good. She has that sort of fencing style. She's a southpaw. She moves extremely well. She's good at not getting hit. Of course, the art of boxing is to get hit and not get hit and hit but not get hit. And if you look at her last 5 opponents, they have a combined record of 70 wins, 5 defeats, and 1 draw. So she's not fighting bums, or I don't like the term bums, but you know what I mean. She's not fighting third-raters. I mean, the win against Lucy Wildheart was a good win. Lucy was 10-2. That picked her up the interim belt, WBC belt. And then she won the vacant title against Sarah Mahfoud, who was 14-1. She won it, was it a shutout, or did Sarah win 1 round? She might have won one round on one of the cards. Then you had Diana Vargas, who was 19-1, and Skye won every single round on every card. And then more recently, you had Raven Chapman, which was, again, a very, very wide victory for Skye against an undefeated fighter. Raven may be lacking a bit of experience. Don't forget, Skye went to the Olympics. She had a lot of amateur fights. And Skye has said, I'd like to carve out my own path, but I think ideally she wants to fight Serrano. Now, they are different ages, of course, because Skye is 29 and how old is Serrano? 36, something like that, 35, 36. So, yeah, they're and in a sense, physically, they're different generations, because Serrano's been around for ages, and Skye only turned pro in March of 2022. So she's still a comparatively, you wouldn't call her a veteran, let's put it that way. I know that in the women's game, the opportunities come quicker because the talent pool isn't as deep or nearly as deep as the men's game. But let's give Skye some credit. She's a good little fighter, and clearly she's capable of, I think, unifying the belts. Whether that would be against Serrano or not, I don't know. But she has a point about Serrano tying up the belts. You've got to fight, do your mandatories, fight, defend those belts. If you want a third fight with Taylor, no problem, but give the belts up. I think that's only fair. Now, could Skye beat Serrano? Well, yes, she could. But would she? When this fight was first muted about, it must be getting on for a year ago or something, I thought, do me a favour. Skye, she needs more experience. She needs more experience. It's different. Serrano's a banger, real hard hitter. And Skye's a natural featherweight. So Serrano has rattled, lightweights and hurt women who are much bigger than her. And she hurt Taylor as well in both their fights. So if she clips Skye won't have felt anything like that before. Now, for all we know, Skye Nicolson may have a great chin. We don't know, because she does that, I say she's defensive. She is. She's a pure sort of back foot boxer. Very rarely goes forward. tries to throw heavy punches as counters, but she definitely isn't a front-footed, hunter. Serrano can be that. She can box on the back foot, but she prefers to go forward and really look for you and try to land those heavy-duty punches. She would, without question, do that against Skye, try to hunt her down. But can Skye hold it together for 10-2s? I don't think there's any doubt she can. It's only 20 minutes of boxing. I don't like the 2-minute rounds. I think women's world title fights at least should be 10-3s or at least 12-2s. This 20 minutes of boxing, as I always say, is only 2 minutes more than a men's 6-rounder. And the women talk about, wanting equal pay and all of this. Well, it's pure economics. But you can increase your economic weight if you fight more, if you put yourself on a par with the men in terms of what you're doing in the ring. Skye herself said she likes the 10-2s. I'm not bloody surprised because it suits her style. 12-3s definitely would favour Serrano vastly more than Skye Nicolson if they ever fought. And another thing is Serrano said, look, I want to fight 12-3s for the rest of my career. Now, since this, she did this a couple of fights ago, and she's fought one 12-3s fight, which she won on points. As far as her subsequent fights go, including the Taylor rematch, they've been 10 2-minute rounds. So I don't know. Maybe it's Skye saying, well, that's just one of many excuses why she don't want to fight me. Maybe, But I don't think Serrano is necessarily avoiding Skye Nicolson, because if you take Skye Nicolson out of Britain and Australia, she's not very well known in America. She's fought over there, but it's not a fight that anyone's demanding, probably because Skye is dull to watch. And also a lot of people, rightly or wrongly, consider Serrano to be so much more advanced than Skye Nicolson. Again, I think Skye can beat Serrano over 10-2s, maybe even 12-3s, maybe 12-3s. But people aren't interested in the fight. So Serrano, at the age she is and the stage of her career, is going to want to make some serious money against the biggest names. She's going to be pushing for the Taylor third fight. Will she get it? No, I don't know. But if she doesn't get it, she should give up the belts and let Skye and the others, fight for them. I know that Tiara Brown has been mouthing off about Skye Nicolson and Skye. She gave this interview. It's quite funny because when you see her interviewed, she comes across as being like a happy girl next door type, very softly, very nicely spoken and respectable. But she almost lost her temper when talking about Tiara Brown, who's been mouthing off. Don't you worry your little head, Tiara Brown. I'm coming after you. We need a bit of that. Good on you, Skye. They probably won't fight. I'm talking about Serrano now, Serrano and Nicolson. But Nicolson quite rightly has said she can carve out her own legacy, if you like. And I think that's the way to do it. It's like when Amir Khan was trying to hunt down Mayweather and Pacquiao, and he spent almost 2 or 3 years of his career sort of waiting for them. Don't ever wait for anyone. Do your own thing. Mop up the gravy. Even if you're not entitled to eat the meat and potatoes, mop up the gravy around. Get all those fighters. Get all those other contenders out of the way to the point where the only thing left to eat is the meat and potatoes. That's what you got to do. Just get everything. Fight your mandatories. Stick to your division. Become dominant, so that people will eventually say, "Well, hang on a minute. Serrano hasn't fought this Skye Nicolson girl. Who's she? I wonder who she is. Well, she's got a good record. Oh, and she's beaten so and so. It's the way you do it. So, kind of like Marvin Hagler did. With when he was middleweight contender. And no, before any morons watching this say that I'm comparing Skye Nicolson to Marvin Hagler, obviously I'm fucking not. So don't be so stupid. But there's always one in the comments, seriously, does your head in. But no, that's what you've got to do. If you're a contender, you've got to get rid of all the other contenders where the only person left to fight is you. So that's what Skye will have to do if she wants to, elevate herself to the point that Serrano is now at, where she's very, very renowned. And also, let's give a shout out to Jake Paul as well, because he's helped Serrano's career considerably and made sure that she's made a lot of money. So big respect to him in that sense. Whatever you think of Jake Paul, he's done very, very well by Amanda Serrano. But anyway, look, if you've got any thoughts on this, I know some of you Aussie guys and girls, you might be watching this. Give me your opinion on Skye. and tell me, do you think she beats Serrano? Do you think they'll ever fight? If not, which route should Skye go down? Tell me your opinions. Comments below, of course. I will read them and answer them. And thank you for your time, as always. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, because it helps us out a great deal. And hit the like button as well. Thank you so much. I will speak to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.